Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the psychology of dividend investing and cash flow investing. It doesn't matter whether you're into stocks, real estate, buying or trading businesses. This advice is going to help change your life, and it's the only thing that has worked historically, and I want to tell you how to make it work better mentally for yourself. So let's jump right into this. Welcome back, my passive income investors alike. Today, I want to break down something psychologically for you on why we're dividend investors and why if you don't suit to this psychological aspect of investing, you'll never really succeed. And it all comes down to how you manage your dopamine levels. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, we're all getting high off stuff on a regular basis. Drugs, when we take drugs, they tend to just over-imply the feelings that we naturally get from doing certain things. So you're going to run into usually only 4 kinds of people. There is an exception for a couple other ones, but I think there's only really main 4 motivation types. One of them is sex and drugs. We all know people that's a player that reads all those dating books and does everything they can to basically get laid. Some people find solace and longevity in their life through that. Another one would be family. Family is the only thing, when somebody truly loves their child, would pretty much murder anybody to protect their family. It's another major dopamine factor in a rush in finding longevity and happiness in life. The third one that I find you'll see a lot of as well is religion. A lot of us can base our entire dopamine levels and the way we run our lives through religion to find solace and longevity as well. And the last one, and the most obvious one, guys, is power. Power and money motivate people in a lot of different ways as well, and I'm sure you've met that person that's power hungry, money hungry, and doesn't really understand that they're going to probably burn out if all they're doing is chasing money. We've all seen those people as well. No matter how you live your life, you are basing your entire decisions off the next dopamine rush. Have you ever played a video game and wonder why you're not achieving anything in life, but you feel so great? That's because you get a dopamine rush from completing stupid tasks, and it's the journey that gets you there. And what I mean by it's the journey that gets you there, and the journey is where you get the rush from, is let's take drugs and sex as the basic example here, guys. So what do you think's more appealing? When this might be a little crude and blunt, I'm sorry, but when you finish and you finally get off, is that the most exciting part, or was it the journey to getting to that part that was the most fun? Same thing with religion and finding a path in life. The journey to finding the path is more exciting than actually finishing the path. Same thing with investing in everything you're going to do in life. And the reason I'm telling you this is because when you watch a self-entitled millennial that's spending $235,000 a year on those student loans or comes out with that much debt and doesn't care to pay it back, it's because they're an immediate dopamine rush chaser, and it's something that we need to understand. So when you take out 200 grand in debt, you can't see the longevity of what it's going to take to pay that back, and you only see the immediate money rush and what it's going to do for you today. So you take it out, and then you go through school for 5 years, you come out and realize you don't want to work that hard to pay that back, and then the dopamine dries out and your brain is no longer motivated to continue that task to complete the longevity. Now, if you are into investing, and the reason I'm telling you all of this is to help you guys better understand what you're doing, and you're going to be able to win at this at the long game. No matter what you're doing, guys, you need to be in it for the long game, and finding the dopamine rushes that are going to help you sustain that are extremely challenging. And I'm going to tell you how you can kind of loophole the entire natural game that stops us from saving money and investing and spending it on frivolous, stupid shit that rots, where we think we need it and it makes us feel better, like going clothes shopping or buying new cars. That is an immediate dopamine rush. That's why we do it. That's why we usually spend money. But the reason you need to know this to basically become a better investor, especially if you want to win at this game, guys, it has to be a long-term plan. You physically need to sit the hell down and write your fucking plan out. If you write your plan out and you actually look at the steps, your dopamine rush will come from each little completed step that gets you closer to that goal. Most people have a long-term vision, but don't have an actual business structure or a plan or a strategy to achieve it, and they can't find the little wins that are going to give them the longevity and the dopamine rushes to continue in the long run of everything. What I'm doing today to play this game in the longevity by controlling my dopamine rushes and managing the way I work on tasks so I can continually have the excitement to work on them day after day. Look at YouTube. Most people start YouTube and don't realize it takes about 1.5 years before you're going to get to your first paycheck, and then you got to post videos every day, and they give up 6 to 8 months in because they don't find a way to map out the goals and make sure they're continuing on their strategy. But if you are willing to sit the hell down and write down what your goals are, and literally work backwards from the goal, step by step, because you're going to enjoy the journey more, and you need to turn it into a video game where you know every completed step is one more building block to your end dream. And if you do not find a way to complete each little building block and celebrate it and get the dopamine rushes along the way, you're never going to achieve it. Now, I was just watching Grant Cardone with an interview with the Wolf of Wall Street. If you know Grant Cardone, he's a billionaire, he's a multi-millionaire, $billion under management for housing and property in the US, and he hates Wall Street. He despises Wall Street, and he absolutely loves real estate. And when he interviewed the Wolf of Wall Street, you could see the tension that he had with him, because he absolutely despises people that, chase the short-term dopamine rushes, like just to waste. It's just, if you watch The Wolf of Wall Street, you'll completely understand what I'm talking about when I say dopamine rushes and the idea of getting caught up in the short game to not win the long game. And you can tell that Grant Cardone absolutely hates this guy with a passion, because he's the definition of a crooked Wall Street trader. And that's another thing. I really don't like those guys that much. I don't like how these guys do horrible things in the past and then we give them all this recognition in the future. It's kind of weird to me. It's like Conrad Black. He was like, I think, one of those guys that swindled billions of dollars, and then he went to jail, and they had him on BBC or whatever. I was watching usually the live markets, and he was on there, and I'm like, why would they bring this crook on to talk about finance? I don't want to listen to this guy. I want to listen to someone that's winning, like actually winning. To create cash flow passively, you're gonna find that, like, you're gonna get a rush off of whatever it is you're doing, and you're gonna have to find a way to continuate that rush so you don't burn out. A lot of people in their careers will burn out. Most careers don't last longer than 10 years, not even 10 years. I think most don't make the first 4 years. I am now 10 years deep into my magic business. I make a full-time income just off that business alone. I work with my business partner that runs a DJ company that I'm quitting soon to make more time for this stuff, because it's just too overkill for me at this point. It's kind of hard to believe that I separate my life so much for this, guys. I've come to realize that when I did magic full time, I was doing an online show. We gauged, I think, somewhere between 1.5 million and 2 million worth of views. By the time I quit doing that show, we were 50 episodes deep, and I just couldn't do it anymore because I was performing full time on weekends, and then I was doing these shows 3 days a week, and it was creatively logging me. And the way I found to continue my dopamine rushes and not burn out is to divide up basically 3 or 4 different tasks. When I'm able to focus on one thing and compartmentalize it and then move into the next thing, I find myself excited to move on to the next thing. Because I work for myself, you have to find a way to basically manage yourself. That's what it comes down to at this point. When you work for yourself, guys, someone's not managing you. You got to manage yourself. And the way I've learned to do this, guys, is basically pick 4 or 5 different tasks in a day and make sure they're completely different, and then I have no problem doing them, so long as they intrigue me or give me that dopamine rush I'm looking for. So YouTube is one of them. I usually try and make a YouTube video every morning when I get out of bed for you guys, and maybe if I have time in the evening, I try and pop out one more. And then the other thing that I'll move into right after that is working on a show. I'm producing a show, a big theater show. Well, I also do private magic events, which is where I'm going today for a Moonlight Festival. So I'm looking to basically subsection all of these off. So I got the magic, I'm quitting the DJing thing, but that's also one of the segments right now that I have to deal with for the rest of the summer. And I do all these different things quite successfully because, first of all, I'm not doing them alone. I have a community, and the community is what's been keeping me very vibrant and alive for doing this with you guys, because I couldn't believe how many people are out there are trying to achieve the same thing, which is basically financial freedom through passive income resources. And I think it can happen faster than people want to assume it can, but most people just want to pick one thing, and that's where they stop. See, I've been working stocks for about 6 years, and stocks to me, now that I've actually feel like I've got some good grounding in it and I understand it well enough to actually succeed successfully and with the longevity of it, I feel like I'm able to put it into its own little compartment. Once I understand something well enough, I feel like I can compartmentalize it. So magic, I've been doing my whole life for the last decade. I can easily just walk into a stage anywhere and start performing without thinking about it. Stocks, same deal. You can give me a balance sheet, I can analyze it, look through the whole company, and come to a conclusion whether I like it or not. And then same thing with these YouTube videos, guys. It's really easy for me to bust out my phone. I have a lot of filming experience, editing experience. I'm able to pop that on and throw it on there. And the thing is I'm trying to stop chasing the monetary aspect of life and chasing that money rush. I used to get a big dopamine rush off making large sums of money in a short amount of time, but I've realized that's not the case anymore. The case for me now is making that slow dollar in a passive way that's going to basically last generationally. And I know many of you are on this same path, and I'm hoping you're going to stick around and enjoy the the passive income investor journey to my own financial freedom, which like I said, I'm going to vlog about it, talk about it here as much as I can for you guys, so you guys can hopefully learn something and I can learn something from you as well. But like I said, guys, if you're not like Jim Carrey and you're not willing to sit down and write yourself $1 million check, you're never going to imagine what it's going to be like to have $1 million. If you can't get out of your middle class mindset and start analyzing billions of dollars, when you start understanding companies make billions of dollars in a quarter every 3 months, once you start paying attention to that and you start understanding that, the way your dopamine is going to work is going to be a whole different ball game. Because if you continually work in making, your weekly $500 paycheck and you're investing at $50 at a time, and like you're just really slow pace and you're not understanding the big picture, you need to sit down and start analyzing larger companies. You need to find connections of people that make 20 times what you make in a day. You need to start surrounding yourself with that so you can evolve and educate, and you can find a new dopamine rush that takes you into the next level. Because honestly, guys, everything when it comes to making money is just a mindset, and we're taught that we have to work ourselves. The Western world sucks. When it comes to understanding money in the Western world, the basic concept is go to school, take out a bunch of money, get a job, take out more money to buy a house, have a family, buy a nice car, keep taking out more money, start planning your retirement in your 40s and have not even a decent retirement in your 60s, and the whole time you're going to work your way into the grave while you do this. A lot of ball and chainers here in North America, guys. A lot of people don't enjoy their jobs and they slap a chain and ball to their desk and they just keep financing their entire lives. It's just ridiculous. You need to find a way to minimalize your life. Focus on your main goals, the things you want in your life, like family, friends, travel, experiences, things that are going to be more fulfilling morally than a brand new car. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a car guy and that fulfills you, go for it. I mean, if you love cars, nothing against it, guys. I'm just saying, for my own personal self, I mainly want to focus on traveling, family, and my career and my performance. I love performing and doing magic shows and things of that nature. So I'm trying to come up with a way of passive income so I can make money no matter where I am in the world, in case I'm not getting enough paid jobs for my live shows. Because I know as soon as I start traveling, it's going to cost more and I'm going to have to find more higher paying jobs to cover that. And there might be moments where I'm not getting paychecks. So I need to make sure the money's coming in so I can continue living the life that I want to live, so I don't wake up when I'm 40 finally starting to live my life. But I hope you guys got something out of this video. Just a really quick video while I head down to work. Maybe I'll show you some clips of where I'm working today for this Moonlight Festival. But stay cool, stay awesome, guys. I look forward to chatting to you real soon. I don't know what's going on.
Yo, DJ,
Batman's freestyling.
Green, homeboy, but I know you ain't mean. Give me a bump.
Hey, Bat. Hey, Bat, come on now. Hey, Bat. Hey, Bat. Yeah.
You got the Batman boogie, break it down.
Here we go. He's breaking it fast, not down slow. He's the Batman. He's breaking it down for you. Here we go. Oh, yeah. We got official dance party up on the stage. Line of direct number 3. Yeah.